Yeah,
Same.
I live by this way of doing things, and it's with everything I do. So I call it IPE, right? Identify, plan, and execute. And for me, what it allows it to do is make a identify plan. And like, let's say the one was when I moved from Japan to the States. I said I want to move to the state. I want to move to Texas. And so we said, okay, we identified our idea. We planned it out, and I had it in like 4 phases, and then we executed each phase, and we just went along. It made it easiest as possible to move from another country. I mean, I literally moved from another country within a week. I had a car. I bought a house. Like, I mean, we went, I took my daughter to school. I started a new job. Like, we just went through everything, and it wasn't that difficult because we had rolled it out. So it was just like, hey, this is according to plan. We know exactly what we're doing. We got all the accounts. We got all these things. We just put money where it needs to go. We take care of it, and it's hassle free because you knew that was the plan. I cannot do this until I go to here, and so it's contingent, right, on making sure we do these things. And for me, that's how I do everything. Like, I do that for everything in my life because it just makes it easier to take none of the feeling out and just sit there and say, because they always say the hardest thing for people to do is execute. So at that point, we'll just plan it out. We'll phase it out. We'll plan, and then say, okay, phase one. And I started going through that route. Cool. And then I don't worry about the big picture. I just worry about the small chunk, small chunk, small chunk. Okay, that's phase one. Phase two is this. And we just boom, 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 boom. And next thing you know, it's done because it was just all action.
And you've always done that? You've done that everywhere, like even when you were in the service, and or that just something that you just like incorporated?
I think it's as I've been getting older, I've been able to articulate it and been able to really think it out loud, because actually what I've been doing a lot of time is spending a lot of time by myself. So when you're not talking to nobody and it's quiet, you just start thinking in your head. And so like you start thinking these little things and you're like, okay, oh, I see what I've been doing over the years. I've been doing this. And so it wasn't like, day one, I was like, hey, this is what it's called. You start reflecting a lot. And then you're sitting there saying, okay, this is what this is. Right. Okay, this is what this is. And you're like, oh, okay, that's why I have this success or whatever. Isn't because I'm the greatest person in the world. I'm a genius. It's because I'm able to execute. But what was I doing before that? Oh, I was able to plan it out. So my execution was already thought of. It was just doing what I said I was going to do anyway. So, after some time, probably about like 4 or 5 years ago, I actually was like, okay, this is how we're going to frame everything we do. And that's why everything I do, it makes it seem like I just go do a lot of things at one time. And I just go like action. I just thought it out and just said, there's like like even this podcast we do here, here, here. All right, let's go. And then we just go. And like you and I, if we have mistakes or there's a mistake going here, cool, learn from it, we'll continue on. We'll go to the next route and we don't even worry about it. So.
Right. Yeah. Because when I got put into that UDM position, man, that was out of my work zone. Like I never done anything like that. So I made sure I carried like a little black book, wrote things down and everything else. So I was going through the training and everything. So I made sure I had little notes and everything. Because eventually I was going to be thrown into the wolves, man. Yeah. Like, you're on your own, figure it out. And we were doing where we was, getting the people ready to go on little missions here and there. But there were times where it was like, hey, Devaya, you're it. So go into the office and, help them out. And it was like, oh, shit. This is out of my zone. I had never done this before, but luckily for me, I had my own little vision board, you know what I'm saying? Like the things of how to go about doing what I needed to do and then just go from there. But it's just crazy because, again, I wanted to talk about this because I just hear it a lot. You know what I'm saying? And it just, I feel bad for them because it's like, I get it. We need it to pay the bills. We need it to take care, put food on the table, put a roof over our head. But again, I think, like you said, it boils down to, is this something that you see yourself doing? Are you happy with what you do? Because I love doing command posts. I really did. I loved being in the command post, everything about it. And that's why I feel like I continue to pursue my education path, emergency management. And if I go for my master's, I probably want to do it in Homeland Security. I just wanted to continue to stay in that world of command and control because I just loved what I was doing. And that's why even now, like if I was looking for jobs, I was not only looking at emergency management, but I was also looking at ground operations in the airlines. You know what I'm saying? Doing what I was doing when I was like at a mobility base, arriving, departing aircrafts and everything else. But I feel like it's like, that's my mental vision of like, this is what I should be doing or this is what I want to do and everything else. But, it's just hard to explain to people because I don't have to muster that. You know what I'm saying? I sit at home. You know what I'm saying? I did my time, so I just sit at home and chill and I don't have to worry about it, and it just sucks that the civilian world is like that. And I'm just like, man, eventually I'm going to want to work and deal with it. You know what I'm saying? But at least I can say, okay, I don't like it here, so I'm gonna bounce because I still have an income coming in. I don't really need your check, you know. But not many people can do that. So it's just like, I just hear the stories and I'm just like, fuck, man, that sucks. Because I'm sure they're exceptional workers. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're great at what they do and everything else. But it's like sometimes they just don't feel like they're getting highlighted for it. And I've been there. You know what I'm saying? I've been overlooked. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to give it to this person now or whatever. Especially like deployments. If it was a nice deployment, I got overlooked on that. I was supposed to go, let's say, to Africa, and they were like, oh, this person hasn't gone, so we're going to give it to that person. Yeah. But okay, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, I think it just boils down to, like, if this is something you want to continue doing. But I always tell them, you know, how's your leadership? That's the one thing. How's your bosses? Are your bosses good? Like, you like working for them and everything else? How's the morale? How are your coworkers? Do you get along with your coworkers? You know, is the workplace a good environment to work in? And again, who are your mentors? Who do you call to vent to? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're really having issues and everything else, is there somebody that you could call? Even if, you know, your best friend or whatever, who can you talk to figure out, you know, why is this issue happening to me? What is going on? What can I do about it? Just get that outside perspective. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always felt like, I always try to tell people those three things for me was always the top hierarchy for all that stuff to really, you know, try to overcome what you're facing at work. Because you know, my work is my sofa.
Hey man, not a bad gig.
So I don't have to deal with that stuff. But again, I mean, that's why I talk to you, I'll talk to other people. Like, you know, I just listen and hear what's going on in the civilian world and like, okay. You know, but this is learning for me too, because now this is valuable for me because now I know how the civilian world is going to be. So once I start working in the civilian world, here are some things I probably needed to look out for and whatnot. So, it's crazy.